How did you get started motorcycling? Assuming you have. Or what started you on the road to even appear at this page interested in motorcycling? I think we're all coming from different places. Hi everybody, welcome back to Bike Like a Dog. Got a few shots left here of my ride around the V-Man 1313 West Georgia Adventure Loop. Sometime when you're anywhere in the southeast, basically, Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. He's got trails that are going all over this area. So you're not just limited to the southeast or to the BDRs, Southeast BDR, or anything like that. There are a lot of different places you can ride. So check it out. No, I am not sponsored by V-Man 1313. I just appreciate the things that he does, the rides that he has, and the efforts that he goes through to ride them every year to try and note any places where he needs to make modifications. Okay, so I was getting ready to do Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving uh, video, and life got hectic as it always does, right? My one of my kids had a birthday. My daughter had two state championships to do. We had, of course, family Thanksgiving itself, as well as continuing the recovery for my knee and some other things. So, anyway, didn't get done. Doesn't mean that I'm not thankful. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do something later on it. But for right now, something else struck me as I was in YouTube the other day, where a rider was talking about when his earliest days riding and his earliest memories of kind of what got him started on this journey. And I thought, you know what? Each of us has a unique story. And part of the reason I started this channel was to tell my stories and everything. So yeah, here I figured out that my story basically for motors, so far as motorcycling went, really started on a tricycle. And that may sound kind of weird, but my sister was like 5 years older, and you can only run after a bicycle just so long. So having a tricycle was huge. I was able to ride around. I rode the wheels off that thing. And my favorite parts were riding through like mud puddles or leaves over sticks, which could be a challenge with a tricycle because you get that rear wheel hung up on a stick and you're not going anywhere. Um, but it was great. I loved being able to do that kind of stuff, and I always thought it was really cool to be able to sit in the middle of a mud puddle and not be getting wet and be able to pedal my way out. As long as I didn't splash too much. Um, of course, then I outgrew that. Got on a bike with training wheels, which was awesome, and that expanded my range a little bit, expanded my speed quite a bit. And but this particular bike, it was a learning bike back in the 60s, and they probably bought that bike in the 50s, which meant it had rubber tires that were not rounded on the edges. They were flat, right? So they were squared off tires, so you couldn't really lean that bike a whole lot. I guess maybe the idea was with that flat surface, while you're learning with training wheels, it helps keep you upright a little bit better. I don't know. I just know that, there came a point where I had to get another bike, and so then my next bike, this was the bike I really rode everywhere, and I'm gonna put a picture of it here because it was not at that time, it was kind of unique, this style of bike. So it wasn't the kind of bike where you have the seat in the middle of the bicycle, wheel in front of you, wheel behind you, and you're in the middle of the bicycle. It was, you see this type of bike where the rear wheel is right under the seat. You're on this banana seat, they were called. And very easy to wheelie, but they were on smaller wheels too. You weren't on like 26 or 27-inch wheels. You were on like 18 or 20 or something like that. Much smaller wheels, which meant that I got to ride it off road a whole bunch. So the bike really expanded my horizons. Now I was able to go somewhere other than just our driveway and my grandparents' driveway because they lived next door to me. I was able to go to the store to get bread, milk. I was able to ride to school, things like that. I had my grandparents had about 4 acres or something like that. Like I said, they were right next door to us. So I had these adventure routes that were around the house, out through the garden, across a ditch, and all this kind of stuff. I had a bunch of them all done up. My own back country discovery routes, right? That I took my bike on, and with those small wheels, it was a lot easier than with a standard bicycle. Um, so, again, had a great time doing that, but discovered that when I was trying to go to the swimming pool, which was across town, it was several miles away. That bicycle was a little challenged because trying to go up and down wheels on a single speed, or up and down hills on a single speed bicycle, even if it's got small tires like that, I was still having to get off and walk it here and there, you know. And of course, going to the pool, of course we were in flip flops. You know, why wouldn't you want to pedal a bicycle on flip flops, right? Anyway, yeah, so much for again. Anyway, when I was in high school, I did get an English Racer 10-speed. That was the bicycle at the time. Today we have mountain bikes everywhere. At that time, it was English Racers 10-speed. You know, the curved under handlebars, all that kind of stuff. And that really expanded my horizons because now I could go over to the pool and in first gear, I'd climb those hills. But better yet, with 20, I think I had either 26, 27-inch wheels. I don't remember. You put that bad boy in 10th gear, and you were getting some serious, a serious push for each circuit of the pedals. And you could really get that thing going pretty fast down the road. Anyway, then, of course, I convinced a friend of mine to go with me out to my aunt's house, or excuse me, as many people would say, my aunt's house, A-U-N-T, right? And it was a long way away. It was more than just a couple or 3 miles. It was probably more like 8 or 10. I don't even know. I had driven it in the car before. It didn't seem that far, but man, once we started riding those bicycles out there, we discovered it was a long way, especially when you're on roads with no bike paths, no sidewalks, the drop off from the roads 4 to 6 inches, and very narrow roads, 2-lane, this kind of stuff, busy roads at that. And so, I discovered that bicycling was not necessarily the best way to get there. And so started riding a car, or driving a car around that time. And then cars became the way I got places. But I never really, I did enjoy driving a car. Loved driving a car, but never as much as riding a bicycle, really. When I got to University of Georgia, like I said in previous videos, I did ride my bike to class and everything, which was one of the most dangerous things I've ever done in my life, riding around the streets of Athens on an English Racer like that. And once I got out of school, that was kind of it. Now, I enjoyed driving the car, and I would roll down the windows and drive. And only now do I really realize that what I was really trying to do was essentially recreate the sense of driving a car. And I started thinking about the cars that I've had. I had one with T-tops. I had a convertible after that. And I thought, You know what? With all of our stuff that we get in cars, sunroofs, T-tops, convertibles, all this kind of stuff, where everybody's trying to connect with the environment, right? In other words, they're trying to do something in a car it was really not meant to do. Whereas a motorcycle, you are in the environment. And so now I realize that on motorcycles, we're able to do things that people in cars can't. When you're in a car, you are in a bubble, right? I mean, you are insulated from what's around you. And granted, when it's 100+ degrees outside, or 5 degrees outside, or something like that, that's a good thing. When it's pouring down rain, blizzard, snow, stuff like that, yeah, that's a good thing. But when you're riding around in spring weather or beautiful fall weather or anything like that, nothing compares with riding on a bike. So, so I decided that that's really where my journey started. It started way long ago on that tricycle, and only recently, when I started riding a motorcycle again, did I realize how much I enjoy being out in the environment, and how much I appreciate being able to ride and everything. This kind of came with my thankful video that I didn't do. So if you're able to get out and ride, yeah, be thankful. I mean, whether you can only ride a few months of the year because you live in extreme climes, either in the extremely north in the northern hemisphere, or maybe extremely south in the southern hemisphere, or maybe you live at great elevations where you got snow for a good bit of the year. Anytime you're able to get out on 2 wheels, or 3 wheels, or 4 wheels, enjoy it. Because this is why people enjoy getting in side by sides. This is why people enjoy being on a motorcycle, or a 3-wheeler, or snowmobiles, jet skis. We have so many recreational vehicles. Boats would be an example too. We have so many things to get out and get out of our house, get out of our cars, get into the environment, and enjoy this world around us. So, whatever your weather, whatever your vehicle, I highly encourage you to go out and enjoy it. And remember that we are blessed to be able to do this. And I guess that's what came out of my, the main thing that came out of my Thanksgiving was how blessed we are to be able to get out and do these things. That's really all I got. Nothing ground shaking by any means. I appreciate you hanging around for my story. Like and subscribe. We'll be doing some more stuff on different things. This was a kind of a one-off in so many ways. But thanks for stopping by, and enjoy as we go into the holiday season. Please enjoy your friends and loved ones. All right. Thanks a lot, y'all, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.